Toronto's West End is a park. In fact, it's Toronto's largest public park. John George Howard donated 120 acres to the City of Toronto in 1873, and the park has grown to be one of Toronto's best attractions. The High Park Zoo has had animals since 1893. It is open 365 days a year and is free to the public. Today we are going to investigate the escaped animals of the High Park Zoo.
We are all about capybaras this morning. We happened to spot one this morning who was trying to elude our camera by literally swimming across that pond in seconds.
It's actually the third animal escape from this zoo in the past few years, but city officials maintain it is properly run.
Yeah, we've had a few escapes or breakouts. We had, about 10 years ago, we had somebody break into the zoo and cut a few fences. We had llamas escape, we had wallabies escape, and one yak escaped as well. So the only ones that actually left the zoo were the llamas. Everybody else was still inside. And the llamas were easy enough to round up. They're very food oriented, so I just took a bucket of food and walked them back to the zoo.
Feathered fugitive is from the West End. He made a break from the High Park Zoo.
Animal Services is on the trail of an elusive peacock in Roncesvalles tonight.
Oh boy! Wow!
The peacock didn't actually escape. He just decided to leave. We used to in the past have the peacocks would be out and they would be sharing pens with some of the other animals, and in the springtime especially they'd be displaying and showing off because they want to attract the girls. And I think two boys got into a fight, and one of them, he hopped up into the trees, which they do, they sleep in the trees, but instead of coming back the way they normally do, he decided to keep going, so he left for a while, but he found his way back. The capybaras escaped on the very day they arrived. It was early in the morning when we were bringing them into the enclosure. What happened was when we moved them in and we closed the gate behind them, it didn't latch properly, and we didn't realize that. And so while we were dealing with other things, the capybaras were a little excited about being in a new spot, and they were testing everything, and when they hit the door, it popped open and out they went. We caught the capybaras actually with the help of a bunch of volunteers. We had the Toronto Wildlife Service. They supplied us some cages. We had the public call in and tell us where they spotted the capybaras, so we knew where they were. They were in two different ponds. And we set up cages with the food inside. One capybara was at what we call the Lower Duck Pond, which is just south of the children's playground, and the other one was in Grenadier Pond. We had the male was out for 6 weeks, and the female was out for 4 weeks. So we nicknamed them Bonnie and Clyde, since they were on the run for a while.
Well, there might be new developments in the search for two capybaras missing from the High Park Zoo.
And for the latest
tonight, where a fairly disturbing discovery has been made.
He looked down into the water and saw something laying down there. We stopped the truck and went down. And yeah, it looked like the one capybara, and about 40, 50 feet down was a second one. One thing about this, we're a long ways from High Park.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, a lot of questions behind that.
We had a lot of people calling in, spotting all kinds of things all over the place. We knew that they didn't leave the park. There's no reason to. They have everything they need here, so we knew that they would stay here.
The escaped animals were a viral phenomenon, including hundreds of memes and tweets.
Torontonians were captivated because capybaras are unusual creatures. There's a lot of people who've never seen them before, never even heard of them before. So that was something unusual, and something that everybody was sort of involved in, especially if you know High Park. If you wander through it every day, then you would keep your eyes peeled. So it sort of brought everybody in, wondering what they are, where they are, and wanting to come and help.
Did you follow the story about the escaped animals?
Yeah. Oh really? What kind of animals?
2 capybaras and a peacock.
Oh wow.
I wasn't too concerned about the animals or anybody getting hurt.
I think one jumped through our yard. The peacock.
Oh. We heard about the capybaras.
Yeah, we heard that they nicknamed them Bonnie and Clyde, so we thought there was plenty.
For weeks they have eluded us. For weeks we wondered if they're okay. And you finally spot them. They do exist.
I would settle for some mosquito repellent.
Are they biting already?
It was very stressful. I mean, we made the news and everybody was making jokes about finding them everywhere, but as zookeepers, we were terrified because these are our guys. We're supposed to be taking care of them, and they're out. We're not able to take care of them. We're not able to feed them. There's predators out there, so we were very, very worried. If a larger animal escaped, it would be more chaos. That would be a big deal because depending on what size of animal it is and which one it is, that could be a public safety issue.
High Park officials have introduced several new security measures to reduce the chance of animal escapes.
Let's see, we've got the fence lines along the edges on the outside have been dug into the ground, so nobody can dig out, nobody can dig in. We have new raised fences in certain areas depending on which animal required it, and we also have better gates put in, better locking mechanisms as well. We just make sure every day we come into the enclosures, we check the fence lines to make sure everything looks good, because sometimes we'll have trees that come down overnight in a storm, so we have to make sure that all the fence lines are good, we make sure all the locks are done, and that everybody's accounted for.
Which animal will be the next to escape their enclosure? Only time will tell. In the meantime, enjoy the zoo and always keep a lookout.